to be performing the marriage of a daughter of John Bell, who was one of my first students, but I came to Fort many, many years ago. Now, if I only had to stop calling Mr. Winston, I wouldn't feel so old. The step which you are about to take is the most important into which human beings can come. It is a union of two people, founded upon mutual respect and admiration. Your lives will change, your responsibilities will increase, but your joy will be multiplied if you are sincere and earnest with your pledge for one another. Happiness in marriage is not something that just happens. A good marriage must be created. In marriage, the little things are the big things. It is at no time taking the other for granted. It is remembering to say, I love you, at least once a day. It is having a mutual sense of values and common objectives. It is standing together facing the world. It is speaking words of appreciation and demonstrating gratitude in thoughtful ways. It is not looking for perfection in each other. It is cultivating flexibility, patience, understanding, and a sense of humor. It is having the capacity to forgive and forget. It is giving each other an atmosphere in which each can grow. We will now have a reading by Bianca Bell.
It is often said that it is love that makes the world go round. However, without a doubt, it is friendship which keeps our existence on an even keel. True friendship provides so many of the essentials for a happy life. It is the mortar which bonds us together in harmony, and it is the calm, warm protection we sometimes need when the world outside seems cold and chaotic. True friendship holds a mirror to our feebles and failings without destroying our sense of worthiness. True friendship nurtures our hopes, supports us in our disappointments, and encourages us to grow to our best potential. Jessica and Miles came together as friends. Today they will pledge to each other not only their love, but also strength and warmth, and most importantly, the fun of true friendship.
Miles, do you take Jessica to be your lawfully wedded wife, to love her, comfort her, honor and keep her, and forsaking all others, keep you only unto her, for as long as you both shall live? If so, answer, I do. Jessica, do you take Miles to be your lawfully wedded husband, to love him, comfort him, honor and keep him, and forsaking all others, keep you only unto him, so long as you both shall live? If so, answer, I do. You did. Jessica and Miles will now say their vows.
Miles, they say love finds you when you're not looking. I believe this is true, because when I wasn't looking, I found my best friend. Confidant, lover for life. You are generous, handsome, kind, and funny. I love how you can make me laugh and we can play like children and lose our sense of reality. I can't wait till you're the father of two our children, and finally my best friend to sit on our front porch holding hands and reminiscing about our amazing life. Miles, I know there'll be storms because life is never easy, but I'll be there holding and gripping your hand when the waves come in. I promise to wipe away your tears when they come. After back rubs when you need them, and to your shoulder when you break down and cry. I promise to always stay faithful and only be true to you. I will love you forever, and when earth and heaven mingle, not until then will I part from you.
Jessica, I vow to love you, encourage you, trust you, and respect you. I will laugh with you in times of joy and comfort you in times of sorrow. As a family, we will create a home filled with learning, laughter, and compassion. Today I choose you to be my wife. I accept you as you are, and I offer myself in return.
Do we have a ring for the bride? Place the ring on Jessica's finger and repeat after me. With this ring, I thee wed.
This ring I do wed.
Do we have a ring for the groom? Please place the ring on the groom's finger and repeat after me. With this ring, I thee wed.
With this ring, I do wed.
Let these rings be given and received as a token of your affection, sincerity, and fidelity to one another. Inasmuch as Jessica and Miles have consented to get in wedlock, and have witnessed the same before this company, and pledged their vows to each other, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Someone will be there, hold you close, let you know I'll care. Be the one that does who you are, let you know when you're not. Birds fall, the stars, let you down, I will stand up, make you see. I will be your strength when no one believes. I will be that you need. I will be. When you're down on your knees, getting up, your feet has got the best of you. Your heart is broken blue. That when you cry, all these moments are good times of your life. And I will be strength when no one believes. I will be that you need. I will be.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. I present to you Mr. and Mrs. Miles Steele.
Last night out of the blue, drifting off to the evening news, she said, honey, what would you do if you'd have never met me? I just laughed, said, I don't know, I could take a couple guesses though, and then tried to dig real deep. Said, darling, honestly, I do a lot more offshore fishing, and probably eat more drive-through chicken, and take a few strokes off my golf game. If I'd have never known your name, I'd still be driving that old green Nova. I probably never would have heard of yoga. I'd be a better football fan. But if I was a single man, alone and out there on the loose, well, I'd be looking for a woman like you. Well, I could tell that got her attention, so I said, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I wouldn't trade a single day just smiled and rolled her eyes, 'cause she's heard all of my lines. I said, come on girl, seriously. If I hadn't been so lucky, I'd be shooting pool in my bachelor pad, and playing bass in my cover band, be stocking up cold Bud Light for poker every Tuesday night, yeah. I'd have a dirt bike in the shed, not one throw pillow on the bed. I keep my cash in a coffee can. But if I was a single man, alone and out there on the loose, well, I'd be looking for a woman like you. She knows what a mess I'd be if I didn't have her here. But to be sure, I whispered in her ear, you know I get sick deep sea fishing, and you make the best fried chicken. I got a hopeless golf game. I love the sound of your name. I might miss that old green Nova, but I love watching you do yoga. I take a gold band on my hand over being a single man. 'Cause you're better than the best. I'm lucky just to linger in your light. Cooler than the flip side of my pillow. That's right. Completely unaware. Nothing can compare to where you send me. Lets me know that it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. In the moments when my good times start to fade, you make me smile like the sun, fall out of bed, sing like a bird, dizzy in my head, spin like a record, crazy on a Sunday night. You make me dance like a fool, forget how to breathe, shine like gold, buzz like a bee. Just the thought of you can drive me wild. Oh, you make me smile.
Okay, first thing we're gonna try to sing Wagon Wheel.
And down south to the land of pine, on my way to North Carolina, staring up the road and praying God I see headlights. Made it to the coast in 17 hours. I was picking me a bouquet of dogwood flowers, and I'm hoping for a rally I can see my baby tonight. So rock me, mama, like a way to give me a rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me, mama, like the wind and rain. Rock me, mama, like a self-come train. Hey, mama, rock me. Run from the cold, nothing new England. I was born to be a thriller and old time string. Yeah. Baby plays the guitar, I pick the banjo now. Oh, the North Country winters here, I'm getting down. Lost my money playing poker, so I have to leave town. So ain't turning out, living that old life no more. So rock me, mama, like a way, rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a self-come train. Hey, mama, rock me.
Something in your voice makes my heart beat fast. Who's more stubborn?
Who's the better driver?
Who gives better gifts?
Who complains more?
Who has better taste in music?
Who is more likely to do the dishes?
Who wears the pants?
Who snores more?
Who's the better storyteller?
Who spends more on clothes?
Who apologizes first?
Who's going to be the first to fall asleep tonight?
Yes, I know you're tired.
Who's the better dancer? Prove it.
Later.
Okay, last question. Who's always right?
Last night, out of the blue, drifting off to the evening news. She said, honey, what would you do if you'd never met me? I just laughed, said, I don't know, but I can take a couple guesses though. And then I tried to dig real deep. Said, darling, honestly, I do a lot more offshore fishing, and probably eat more drive-through chicken, take a few strokes off my golf game. If I'd never known your name, I'd still be driving that old green Nova. I probably never would have heard of yoga, be a better football fan. But if I was a single man, alone and out there on the loose, well, I'd be looking for a woman like you. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I wouldn't trade a single day for 100 years the other way. She just smiled and rolled her eyes. She's heard all of my lines. I said, come on girl, seriously. If I hadn't been so lucky, I'd be shooting pool in my bachelor pants, playing bass in my cover band, be stocking up cold Bud Light. Forever Tuesday night, I have a dirt bike in the shed, not one throw pillow on the bed. I keep cash in the coffee can. But if I was a single man, alone and out there on the loose, well, I'd be looking for a woman like you. She knows what a mess I'd be if I didn't have her here to be sure. I whispered in her ear, you know I get sick of deep sea fishing. You make the best fried chicken. I got a hopeless golf game. I love the sound of your name. I might miss that old green Nova. I love watching you do yoga. I take a gold band on my hand, or being a single man. 'Cause honestly, I don't know what I'd do if I'd never met a woman like you.
lost in the moment at each other's face. So much in love, you're alone in this place, like there's nobody else in the world. I was enough for her not long ago. I was her number one, she told me so, and she still means the world to me, just so you know. So be careful when you hold my girl. Time changes everything, life must go on. I'm not gonna stand in your way. I loved her first, I held her first, and a place in my heart will always be hers. From the first breath she breathed, when she first smiled at me, I knew the love of a father runs deep. And I pray that she find you someday, but it's still hard to give her away. I loved her first. How could that beautiful woman with you be the same freckle-faced kid that I knew? One that I read all those fairy tales to, tucked in the bed all those nights. And I knew the first time I saw you with her, it was only a matter of time. I loved her first, I held her first, and a place in my heart will always be hers. From the first breath she breathed, when she first smiled at me, I knew the love of a father runs deep. I pray that she find you someday, but it's still hard to give her away. I loved her first. From the first breath she breathed, when she first smiled at me, I knew the love of a father runs sweet. Someday you might know what I'm going through.
Okay, well those two are ruined. Start over. Made up. Thank Helen and Eric.
Different every day. By being different, it was definitely different. So I remember now, since they were saying about Cindy, that I thought I was the person to dress up as a girl with him. But he had experienced, I guess, before we dressed up as girls. Because he was Cindy. I never knew about Cindy. But, of course, John and Trish has tons of pictures and we can never live it down, really, but... Hey. Actually, we're probably dressing up, I don't know. So anyway, so this is probably about 5 minutes from my house. So anyways, we're coming out of this trail with my brother, and he's ahead of us. Me and Miles are probably biking parallel, probably this far away. And I look over against, look at a house or a dog or maybe a hot girl, I don't know. But Miles gets the opposite way because we end up hitting each other. And we scrape probably about a good couple centimeters at least. And I walked up to this guy, I'm like, wow, what the hell just happened? So my brother, all I hear my brother laughing, he's almost pissed himself laughing. And I'm like, what the hell's happening? So then I also hear Miles, ugh. I look behind, like I'm laying on top of him. And his back is all bloody, my knees are all bloody. But my brother's like, just pointing over. He's like, man, look at your bikes. And we look over our bikes, they're a good 40 feet away almost. And my bike was laying on top of his bike. And it was just weird how his bike landed on my bike, or I landed on him just the way our same bikes landed on. But my brother, his face was funny and, oh man, we just kind of laughed it off and just biked home. I don't know. But, yeah, when I first met Jess, Miles brought her home, he was texting me and calling me saying how excited he is that he met this girl, and I never knew the Canadian Tire story, how it was creepy and stuff, but, I mean, I always thought Miles was creepy too, but anyways, so, yeah, so we went, Dawn just at the pool, so we were swinging at the pool, I first met her, and Miles was like, we should go go-karting, and what else we do? Oh, we just chilled at the beach, went shopping and stuff, girl stuff, they wanted to go do girl things. Miles tried a few dresses on. I gave my honest opinion though, so like a best friend should. But just watching them throughout the day interact with each other, the way they looked at each other, the way they kissed each other, the way they held hands on the beach walking, I can just tell that they were in love. And that if I could find a girl and be like them, that I'd be happy. Like I said, not good at public speaking. But every time I probably met Jess about 4 or 5 times max before this wedding, but I felt like I'd known her forever. Just like, I don't see Miles very often, obviously, because it's pretty expensive to fly out here or drive. But seeing...
Your eyes.
Thanks, Dan. You can use it later. So, yeah, anyways, I can't see him very often, but we talk on the phone, it feels like we haven't laughed. I see him every day, it feels like, when I see him. And even Jess, like, I've seen her maybe 6 times in this whole week. Different sides of Jess I've never seen before. But I don't know, she's grown on me a lot. And we get closer and closer every time. And I mean, I know as their slave all week, but I was like equipment book and everything else. I put the pom-poms up everyone, by the way. They look wonderful. Yes, Aunt Debbie.
Without a ladder.
A little one. But I just want to say, Miles, I know we went through hard times, man. We went through fun times, but you're always there for me, and I know you'll be the same way for Jess.
Now, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Becky, the maid of honor, and I've known Jessica, as my dad would call her, since Mrs. Simpson's kindergarten class. And I knew the very first time she phoned me that we would be good friends. And our first tea party, I knew we would be great friends. So over the last 19 years, we've shared many great experiences together and have learned a lot about each other. Now, Miles, since I have more experience than you in this department right now, I've got 19 years. But first of all, these are just some things you might not have come across so far. So I'll just kind of point them out now. Kind of, I've experienced them, you probably don't need to. First of all, in another life, I'm convinced that Jessica may have been a telemarketer for 2 reasons. One being that she had an uncanny ability to phone at supper time. And that's whether you were eating at 5 o'clock or 9:30. She's just really that good. And my second thought for why she might have been a telemarketer in a past life is that in my household there was a rule. And this rule was that there were no phone calls before 10 a.m. And that's just on weekends, but no phone calls prior to 10 a.m. on weekends. This was lovingly referred to as Jessica's Law. So, Jess, if teaching, if it doesn't quite work out, telemarketing, that might be great too. Just a loving suggestion. All right, second. Now, Miles, this is very important. You need to watch her around your Campinos. Okay? Those of you in here who don't know what I'm talking about, I'll give you a quick story for just why you need to watch her around your delicious hard candies. I remember one year, Jessica gave me a bag of Campinos for Christmas, and she really was not satisfied at my slow consumption of these Campinos. And one day she was over at my house, and she said, "You still haven't eaten your Campinos?" And I said, "No, I'm just saving them. I'm having a few at a time." And then anyways, let me say that this must have been March or April. And I went to hand her jacket, and what should fall out but a large handful of delicious yogurt and strawberry swirled hard candies. Now, I said, "Jessica, are you stealing my Campinos?" To which she simply said, "Yeah." You gotta give a girl credit for being honest. Now, Miles, thirdly, this is the one I really meant that you probably don't want to experience. I loved every time, but you probably don't want to experience this, Miles. There really is no limit to the amount of times one can watch the Lindsay Lohan Parent Trap, as long as you fast forward the part where they pierce the ears, because nobody really wants to see that part. And it's also really okay to know it word for word. "Sisters, Hallie, we're like twins." Did I do it okay, Jess? Just okay? Okay. Oh, perfect. All right. Now, fourthly, Miles, this is a big one, okay? You can win any game of Would You Rather by placing your desired outcome against kissing Mr. Moore, our 4th grade teacher. Just a heads up. Finally, and possibly most importantly, never, this goes for all of you in the room too, never, I repeat never, let Jessica Elizabeth Steele mix you a drink. Now, you'll notice, well, you would have noticed if I had my drink, that I am not drinking a Caesar, and that goes for a good reason. The reason is that one evening, after we both turned 18, Jessica decided to mix me a Caesar. Here is her now infamous recipe for Caesars. 2 parts Jack Daniels, 1 part water, 1 part ketchup, and an undetermined amount of spices. Now, you can garnish that however you like. Suggestions include broccoli, asparagus, a carrot, or a dead squirrel, whatever you might have on hand. I'm just kidding about the dead squirrel, please don't do that. Now, you guys, now we know why we have the bartenders at the back, hey? Because you wouldn't want Jessica mixing those drinks. We love her though. But seriously guys, I'm really happy for you. And I'm really happy that you got married today and that I was able to stand up with you and be there with you guys for that. Jessica, you are a brilliant, beautiful woman who I love and I'm proud to call my friend. Again, I love you and I will always be here for you and Miles. And I hope you guys are both enjoying your special day. To Jessica and Miles, and a lifetime of happiness. And Jessica, I got you a little something to make the first, well, day of marriage a little sweeter. She got it!
We're Jessica's parents, as a lot of you know, and I was told that I have to do the speaking, and I'm going to have to do a lot of reading, I'm afraid to say.
Hey, someone's got to have the Kleenex ready. Come on.
I think we'll be okay. Oh. And I started with that same story, that the romance started when some creep hit on a Canadian Tire cashier. He was kind of cute and had nice arms. And he was very persistent and creative in getting a date, even though she refused to give him her number. It turned out he was not a creep after all, just impulsive and adventurous, a lot like her. We want to thank everyone here for coming and to supporting this marriage. And a special thank you for everyone who worked so hard to make this day special. Jessica, we're very proud of you. You're very beautiful inside and out. You always work very hard at bringing people together. I remember how often you got kicked out of the popular group for including an insider. You'd risk being hurt in order to communicate openly and honestly to build relationships. The hardships that you faced made you a more compassionate and creative person. You were always a good girl. Your most annoying, constantly singing or talking, and the clutter you would leave in your wake. Now I really miss the singing, but not the clutter. As Jessica matured, she added one more important thing to her wanted list for a future husband, and that was that his parents were not divorced or separated. Miles met that criteria, along with being kind and caring, especially when Jessica's sick. He holds her hair back so she doesn't puke on it. And he brings her popsicles and cream soda. He's also hardworking and family-oriented, a good cook, never boring, and cute and has nice arms. Miles, we want to welcome you into our family. And in closing, I want you to remember your partner cannot read your thoughts. So make time to communicate your needs. Don't assume. And always work for a win-win. It's worth the effort for your own health and happiness. And I want to toast Jessica and Miles, but I forgot my glass.
Miles, Jessica.
We'll do it again later.
Dawn and I actually had a speech prepared, and we had it on my cell phone. And then today, we actually let our granddaughter listen to a lullaby on it, and when we got it back, our speech was deleted. So it's amazing what they already know to do at 9 months. So we know roughly what we were going to talk about, so it may not be in exactly the same order or whatever, but we'll continue to share.
Miles is his mother's baby, still is and always will be. So I don't know if anybody has seen that NyQuil commercial. Anyways, Jessica, be ready for those mornings where Miles wakes up and goes, Jess, can you call my mommy? Anyways, here's some NyQuil just so you don't have to put up with that.
So, know a little bit more about him. And when Miles was 6 months old, and you started to give the babies a little toy to play with, he would throw the toy away, turn to his sisters, he has two beautiful sisters up here, he would turn to both of them and pull their hair and laugh out loud. And I just turned to Dawn and said, oh my goodness, we're in trouble. So that was Miles's ideal of fun, was to actually tease And he's done a wonderful job of that, but he's also has had a huge heart, and definitely a protector of his sisters. And so we're going to give you just a couple of stories about him protecting his sisters. So the first one is about Nikki. And Nicolette, we went as a family to go to school for her to meet the principal, and this is before her going into kindergarten. And we go to shake the principal's hands. Miles had never done this before, never did it after. He went up like this as if he was going to shake him, or shake his hand, and he just plowed him right in the privates. And the principal keeled over, and Dawn and I, we tried really hard not to laugh, but it really looked funny. And the principal turned to him and says, "I'll remember you." So Miles still had another year before he went to school. And so it was, some of the teachers were going, "We've always wanted to do that." Anyways, and then the protector of Mallory. So for years, Miles had heard and saw Mallory crying when she came off the bus, that there was a bully on the bus. Well, he would tear up Mallory's paintings and all that. So when Miles actually started school, went on the bus anymore, and it was actually a good thing that the seats were high, because when Miles came off and he told us the story, and I said, "Did you get in trouble?" He goes, "No, the bus driver couldn't see me." So he wasn't afraid to stand up for his sisters. So a protector and a kind heart.
The kind heart started young. I'm not sure, my wife has ages and years and everything down packed as to when it happened, but when he was very young, we went into a drugstore at home, and anyways, make a long story short, when we got home, all of a sudden this round container of lip gloss appeared, or lip sol, or whatever you want to call it. And we thought, we didn't buy this. Where did it come from? So anyways, we sat the three kids down on our sofa, and we thought, where do we go with this? You know, one of them stole it. What do we do? So we questioned them. They didn't, none of them took it. They didn't know where it came from. So we said, well, we called the drugstore, and they said that whoever took it, when they touched it, their hands are going to turn blue. Well, Miles slid his hands under his legs. Anyways, ends up he took it for his sisters, and that's where the kind heart came in. But we dragged them back to I dragged them back to the store, and we came up to the cash and gave it back and told them that he had taken it, and they said, well, and we had kind of had that talk before, you're lucky they didn't call the police and you go to jail, you know. And sure enough, at the cash register, the lady says, wow, normally we're supposed to call the police and you would go to jail. So, as far as I know, he's never touched anything again that didn't that he didn't pay for or been given to.
This story wasn't on our script, but it just reminded me with Dawn saying that some of these first times that we were in a restaurant, and Miles was probably about 3 or 4 years old at the time, and he looks at the bill, and we both on, I said, oh, you shouldn't have done that. He says, why? And I says, well, now you have to pay for it. Whoever looks at the bill has to pay for it. Well, you know what? To this day, I don't think Miles has ever looked at the bill. Just teasing. So many names can be given to Miles, and Dennis the Menace is probably a really good one too. But I'm going to let Dawn share this story.
There seems to be a lot of things you don't find out about your children right away, and there's a few years span or whatever. And we had a great neighbor who Miles used to go over and I get emotional with that. He was a great neighbor. He used to sit on his front porch with him on a chair and just sit there and talk. And he was very young. Anyways, well, through our years of conversation with our neighbor, one year he told us. We came home one day, I'll back up, we came home one day and he was drying out a bunch of stuff that he had in his basement. He had his carpet out in the driveway and some couches, and I said, "Oh, Ivor, what happened?" "Oh, a pipe burst or something like that, you know." And "Oh, sorry to hear that, you know." And I think about 5 years later, Ivor, we were sitting having a chat, and he said, "You guys never figured that out?" He says, "Miles came over." Yeah, Miles came over. Our neighbor had a stairwell going down to his basement from the outside, and he had a door with a little mail slot in it. And close by was a garden hose. So apparently somebody shoved the garden hose down through that hole as far as they could and turned the water on while he was at work. But Ivor loved them. So anyways, we got, just in case that happens again, Jessica, we've got a bucket. And you can start bailing. Anyways, like I say, some things you don't find out right away, but you never forget.
When, you know, all the different shows that they watch as little ones, Miles loved Peter Pan. Just absolutely loved Peter Pan. And my sister-in-law have a special ring to sit on because he had hurt his back. So we're going to give you another ring to sit on, Miles. And hopefully this one is really just in the pool.
Steered away, was heading for the street, steered away from the street and ran into the neighbor's house head on, full speed, and so no helmet. So just in case, if anything like that happens again, he can be prepared, hopefully. And thank God he didn't break anything, or, you know, I pictured a broken neck or something that was going that fast.
So there's many, many, many stories that we can share about Miles. Yeah. But a lot. But one thing was interesting. As soon as he became a teenager, he became a very responsible young man. And we love you to pieces. But I have one more story to share. I thank God every day for my family. And you see, Miles was never supposed to be born. I was supposed to miscarry him. I was in the process of miscarrying him. And we went to the hospital, and they said, "There's nothing we can do, but you go home and you pray." And I went home, and I prayed for 2 solid weeks. And here he is today. So I've always called him my miracle baby. And so now, Jessica, he's now your baby. And I know he'll be a miracle for you.
I've got two more short things to say. And one is, I did get something for Jessica, and she can decide whether she wants to show it to you or not. It's, I know she likes tanning, and I just picked up a little SPSF 300 or something like that. She had it all over Facebook that she was... It's a little orange paint, just bypass that whole tanning bit. Anyways, we were out looking for some props for this speech, and we came across this Dad's Rescue Service 24/7, and both you or Miles might need this, and it probably applies to John as well as myself. If we can ever, help you, we will. And you can hang that up somewhere in your home.
So once again, Jessica, we welcome you into the Steele family. And with that comes a lot of crazy things. And thank you for the bridesmaids and the groomsmen, maid of honor, best man, for sharing this wonderful day. And we also want to thank many people who've traveled very far away as well to be able to share this day. And for grandparents, for again taking time to be with us. We appreciate it.
I was going to start this whole speech thing off with something a little different, but I decided not to. But I still want Miles to have this because he does tend to clown around a bit.
So you know where Miles gets his humor from.
As you know, I like to express my love in song. I'm not gonna sing again, but I can't express my love towards Miles anymore than I have. Cried enough today. I love you so much. I'm so happy you've put up with me through everything. It's been a stressful, crazy ride, but I cannot wait for many, many years with you, till death do us part. And I should have wrote this down. And thank you everyone who's traveled near and far to get here to spend this special day with us.
Thank you all for coming. I'd just like to thank my Oma and Opa for their blessing at dinner. And also about that guy's house I ran into. At least he's got a window now. But we'd like to thank everyone for coming out, and we hope you enjoy the night. And
Do you have anything to add?
we would just like to thank Chelsea McDermott as well for putting on a wonderful event for us.